Do you want to be rich? The ultra-wealthy have a little-known secret called the 843 rule of compounding, a powerful way to multiply your wealth faster than you thought possible. But what exactly is the 843 rule, and how can it make you wealthy? To find out, I spent days watching interviews with some of the richest people on the planet. After 37 pages of notes, I uncovered something truly unexpected, a three-part framework that the wealthy use to make money work for them. And it all starts with understanding one of the greatest forces in finance, compound interest. Albert Einstein famously said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." To truly appreciate the power of compounding, let's delve into the story of the king and the chessboard. In a vast and prosperous kingdom, the king, renowned for his immense wealth and power, found himself increasingly bored with the monotony of royal life. Yearning for a challenge to stimulate his mind, he summoned the kingdom's wisest scholar to invent a new game. After much deliberation, he presented him with chess. Captivated by the game's intricate strategy and depth, the king offered the inventor any reward he desired. The clever inventor, modest in his request, asked for something that seemed trivial: to place 1 grain of rice on the first square of the chessboard, 2 grains on the second, 4 on the third, and continue doubling for each of the 64 squares. At first, the king chuckled, believing this was a small price to pay. However, as the servants began to place the rice, they quickly realized the enormity of the request. By the time they reached the final square, the amount of rice required exceeded the entire wealth of the kingdom, over 18 quintillion grains. Faced with the reality of his promise, the king was compelled to keep his word, ultimately having to part with his kingdom to fulfill the request. This tale beautifully illustrates the immense power of compounding, demonstrating how a seemingly small initial action, when allowed to compound over time, can yield astonishing results. So what exactly is compound interest? Compound interest is a powerful mechanism that occurs when the returns you earn on your initial investment are reinvested, allowing both your principal and the accumulated interest to grow together. This cycle of reinvestment creates a snowball effect, resulting in exponential growth over time. The longer you let your investment compound, the more pronounced the effects become. If you're enjoying the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, I'd love to know what's your favorite asset to invest in. Now let's dive into part 2, the 843 rule. By leveraging the 843 rule, we can unlock the full potential of compounding and pave our way to extraordinary wealth. This powerful rule acts as a comprehensive roadmap for your financial journey, divided into 3 distinct phases, each characterized by its own growth pattern. The first phase, which lasts 8 years, is all about laying the groundwork. At this stage, consistency is key. You're steadily investing, and even though the growth might feel gradual, the impact is substantial. The goal is to build a solid base by taking advantage of compounding from the start. In this phase, you may not see explosive growth yet, but don't be discouraged. Compounding takes time to reveal its true power. For example, if you start investing with $500 every month for 8 years in an asset that returns 10% per year, you will end up with around $71,000. It may not sound like a fortune, but this is just the beginning. In the second phase, which lasts 4 years, your investment starts gaining momentum. This phase accelerates because now you're earning returns not only in your principal, but also on the returns accumulated from previous years. Here, the impact of compounding becomes more noticeable as your investment begins to multiply faster. Picking up speed like a snowball rolling downhill, your investment has now become $134,000. At this last phase, which is 3 years, the effect of compounding hits full throttle. The snowball effect is in full swing, generating a powerful compounding impact on your total balance. By now, your investment growth is exponential, thanks to the returns from previous years compounding on themselves. It's in this phase that you see the highest gains, as your balance increases dramatically with little additional input from you. By the end of these 3 years, your investment grows to over $200,000. Notice how the last 3 years produce as much money as the previous 12 years combined. This illustrates the remarkable snowball effect of compounding, where your returns create even more returns. The cycle continues, building on itself and propelling you toward financial success. But in order for the 8-4-3 rule to work, it's crucial to apply solid investing principles. One of the biggest misconceptions is that you need a large sum to start investing. But the 8-4-3 rule shows that even modest amounts, when invested consistently, can grow into substantial wealth. Compounding works best with time, so starting in your 20s rather than your 30s can make a massive difference. With every year, you give your money more time to multiply, creating a snowball effect over decades. Life gets busy, and it's easy to forget about regular investments. By automating your contributions, you stay consistent and remove emotions from the process. Set up monthly automatic transfers to your investment account, just like you would with savings. Treat it as a non-negotiable expense, allowing your wealth to build passively over time. Instead of cashing out your earnings, reinvest them to take full advantage of compounding. Each time you reinvest, your portfolio grows faster, as the returns generate even more returns. This approach helps your investment snowball into a much larger sum over time. Diversification reduces risk and smooths out the ride. By spreading your investments across multiple sectors, you protect yourself if one industry underperforms, as others pick up the slack. This balanced approach can reduce volatility and help you stay on track for the long term. The market will go through ups and downs, and it's easy to get tempted to pull up during downturns or chase gains during rallies. Remember, fear and greed are your worst enemies when it comes to investing. Stick to your long-term plan, focus on your end goals, and remember that consistency and patience are essential to your financial journey. Even a small difference in returns can translate to substantial wealth over time. For example, let's compare two investors, Yul and Patrick, both starting at age 25 with $25,000. Yul's investment grows at 10% annually, while Patrick's grows at 8%. While both rates sound good, Patrick's portfolio reaches $543,000 by retirement. But Yul's, with just 2% higher returns, grow to over $1.1 million. Choosing the right investment vehicle is essential, and extensive research consistently points to low-cost index funds like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF as excellent options for steady long-term growth. This fund not only gives you exposure to a broad range of high-performing companies, but also generates dividend income. Dividends can be a reliable source of passive income, but it's essential to approach them carefully. Without a careful plan, dividends could cost you millions over time. Watch this video to discover how dividends might actually be holding back your wealth.